Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from You're Gonna Eat That Babe, who says, I made a dumb joke about my boyfriend. Am I the arsehole here? So I need the opinion of people not attached to me or him, but my boyfriend got mad at me Sunday and he's been ignoring me since. So I feel like maybe I am the arsehole here. So I am female 35 and he is male 35, and we've known each other 10 years and dated too. He knows how much I like writing books. I self-published a kid's book last month and he's been really quiet about it. This past weekend at my family cookout, my father mentioned the book and how proud he is of me. But my boyfriend walked inside saying he was grabbing our drinks. At the end of the day, my parents offered me some money to go to a book convention, and my boyfriend audibly scoffed. On the way home, I asked what his deal was, and he said that his job, he's a back-end software engineer, will provide for us, and he will let me have my fun as a creative for now, but I eventually have to grow up. I laughed because I assumed he was joking. He of course was upset and told me my Meaningless book was objectively illustrated poetry. I shut down, and then he was upset I was acting mad, so I changed the subject. He continued to make my book a topic by jokingly saying my glorified illustrated poetry shows my middle child syndrome, or that I must crave mediocre attention from people. I shrugged and replied, "Hey, if you think you are mediocre, okay," and moved on. He texted me the next morning saying I tore him down and was being a bully, and he was kidding with me, and he hasn't at all responded to me since. I'm away on a planned work trip and now I'm overthinking it maybe. Am I the arsehole here? This wasn't a joke, he just doesn't want you to succeed, and the whole post was screaming red flags at me, but one particular line was like, whew, where he says he will let you have your fun as a creative for now, but you have to grow up. The amount of control I picked up from that line was just immense, and then it has the cheek to turn around to you and say that you tore him down and was being a bully, which was just Darvo vibes all over from me. And the question that I always ask, do you really want to be with this person? Someone like that? I gotta ask myself, has it always been this way? Is this new behavior? You've known each other for 10 years and dated these two. Has it only changed in those last 2 years? Has he always been like this? But Craptastic Life says, why does he think it's okay to jokingly tear you down? He sounds very immature and unsupportive. Is this someone you really want to hitch your wagon to? A user says, recently read a paper of an experiment that was run. People were told that their partner had scored well on a test, in the upper 10% percentile or something of that nature, even in instances where the person hadn't themselves taken the test. The men participating reported lower self-esteem from their partner doing well. Could be her success at publishing a book has made him feel bad about himself, so he's minimizing her effort and success to make himself feel better. Heather Reed's Reddit says, not the arsehole. Please rethink being with someone who outright scoffs and puts you down regarding something that you care about, and who tried to act like he was joking when you got upset about it. It won't get better. You can find someone else who isn't threatened by your endeavors. I wish you well. Dry Sandwich says, he's 35. He clearly doesn't want you to succeed with books. You need to ask yourself, why is that? He sounds like a lot of men I work with. They think they're God's gift because they deal with engineering, physics, and computing. They all have girlfriends and wives who are not paid much and who are dependent on them. Based on the way these men talk, I have the following possibilities for you. Is it that your boyfriend doesn't want to share the spotlight? Doesn't want you to be financially successful? Presents that his work is not fun and yours is? Doesn't want you to spend time on a career because he thinks you should be at home catering to him? His comments were rude and unnecessary. I generally try not to tell people to break up because a short post here can't represent the complexity of the average relationship. But from what you've said, I'm tempted. This is a big deal that you need to be very emphatic and insistent on resolving it. And a final comment from DJ Paperclip, who says, just to give you a comparison, if I was dating someone who self-published a book, I'd be telling everyone I know, I would use my skills in marketing to help with increasing sales. I would help reach out to publishers if it was something my partner wanted to do full time. I would find avenues to help them succeed, because I would view their success as my success, and I would do all of this, even if a part of me thought the idea was silly or stupid, for the sole reason that I enjoy helping people I care about and don't view significant others, family or friends as competition. So then OP comes in with her update and says, edit to say, I'm calling him Chris here. Hey y'all, on mobile, but had to post this because what a time to be alive. I broke up with Chris a few hours ago. Boy howdy. He ignored me for a full day and I hadn't reached out to him because I was honestly fed up with his attitude. We've been together for 2 years and I'd never seen him act this way. I flip-flopped between maybe he was having a bad day or something was going on and he transferred his negative energy in my book. But no, he's just a soggy, moldy baby carrot. I have to use that one sometime. That didn't think I had dreams of my own, or I'd throw it away for him. Our mutual friends have told me that he had basically told him that I rubbed my success in his face and made him feel like a simp, just following his girlfriend around, being ignored when he has a successful business and has the higher paying job. He texts the day after his silent treatment, that my not reaching out to him was a sign that I don't love him, and went on to say that I love my book more than I love him, because I neglected him while working on it, and then I didn't praise him at the party as my biggest supporter. The rest of his paragraphs long text went on to talk about how he had this whole plan that he would marry me and we would be engaged this year, but then you started not listening to me drop things and focus on us, our lives in the future, by taking up hobbies that my therapist poisoned me against him. I was diagnosed with depression this year and therapy has helped a lot. It hurt because I felt immediately like all I do was just rubbish to him. How the fuck can you say that? I loved him so much because he was someone I thought I would be with forever. Guess not. I got angry and texted him to ask, what makes you think I don't love you? I'd do anything for you. And just as I hit send, his new message popped up and it said, you wrote your book and you got your party. I assume now that I can finally have my girlfriend back. We can have a talk. I don't think you understand how I want our marriage to be, so I want to make things clear. But then he responded to my message. Are you kidding me? If you're not going to prioritize me over a book no one but you cares about, why am I even staying with you? I can go and find a woman who supports her man and wants his career and dreams to be successful. So I said, alright, go find her. We clearly don't work. Best of luck. He said, wait, you breaking up with me? I said, what do you want me to do because you made it clear I'm not what you want anymore? He says you can't just break up with me. Opie said, Chris, please. He said, you can't just make that decision for me. You can't break us up like this. It's been 2 years. I said 2 years in which one thing I wanted to do, one thing I was proud to have done, and you needed to shit on it. You've been so sour about it and I don't get it. So get your better woman. He said, but you can't just break up with me. We have to talk. He then calls and I decline. He says, pick up. You're being ridiculous. He shows up at my door and the second I opened it, trying to push in, but I had the chain lock on. He was screaming at me. He said I can't break up with him. It's been 2 years. How do I think it will go for me to try dating again after passing the expiration date for children? That's when I asked him to leave or I'd call the police. And he said he will never forgive me for this book, as it's ruined me as a person. And for some reason I said, Chris, take your mediocre stick out of your mediocre ass and be on your mediocre way. And called my parents to tell them what happened. My mom is over now plying me with a mixed drink and she's been making fun of the repeated, you can't break up with me line, as he said many times in text and a bunch in person. She said she was proud because I am usually quite passive and she didn't like him bulldozing over me. And when I asked her what she meant, she brought up a lot of things I never really thought about. Chris would shoot me down a lot and I honestly thought I was compromising for our relationship, but it seemed to some that I was just letting him speak for me a lot. 2 years. It feels like a blip and a lifetime at the same time. It's hitting me that it's over and my mum is staying over with me. But I have many what the fucks to deal with, just not tonight. Edit and a small update. Holy hell, this blew up. I'm usually a Reddit lurker on anonymous mode, so I was overwhelmed in the best way to see all this love and support. It made me cry. Good tears, I promise. I cried most of my bitter ones a bit last night on my mum's shoulder. She was right. I don't miss him, but the version of him I thought he was, and so I chose to look forward. Mum and I stayed up and read comments together. She's not a Reddit gal, but loved all your messages, and she's happy to be the Reddit mum. Mum made breakfast this morning and we're eating when there was a knock at the door. My mum held a hand up to halt me and got herself up to go to the door and ask who it was. And I heard her say, "You have 15 seconds to leave or you're going to be made to leave." I got up to see my mum shouting through the still locked door, peeking through my peephole. There was someone on the other side talking back to her, but she just kept steadily counting down. By the time she got to 6, she had put her shoes on and was holding my broom. I'm not stupid. I knew it was him even then, but then my phone went off and I didn't reply. It was him again. He left flowers and an apology card, along with a stuffed owl bear. Mum asked me if I wanted to read the card, and I said I did. It was basically a long-winded apology admitting he was being an arse, but work has him stressed and he's underappreciated in general, and it all came out in a nasty way. He's so sorry. He should have given me space and respected me more, and he will never do it again. He didn't sleep last night, feeling so much regret over what he did, and will do better. But please call that he misses me, and let's not throw away 2 good years of foundation away over a stupid fight. I handed it to my mother who read it, snorting and chuckling. "Yeah, I bet," to herself, and then stood up and went to the kitchen, returning with a trash bag and my cell phone. "What's the play, coach?" she asked, and just to freak her out, I took my phone and pretended to call the pizza shop. "Yes, Domino's, we need a pizza. Yes, I'm breaking up with my ex and we need to toss his shit out." All that to say, it's now evening. The sun is lower and my neighbors are watching my house as I'm in my parents' pool in their backyard drinking margaritas with my sister and brother. Mum tells the story to all of them over and over. I texted him, "Chris, we are done. All the things you left at my place are in garbage bags on the porch. The neighbors have their camera pointed at the house, so please just take your stuff and go. Don't knock, I am not in. If it's all there on Monday, it goes with the rest of the garbage to the curb." He replied asking, "If not home, where was I?" But I won't be giving energy to this. I will spend the weekend with my family and I feel so lucky to have them. I've decided I will go for another book. For those asking for links to this book, already out, sorry, but when my mum and I read the comments, she said, "Don't you dare put your name out there. They all seem lovely, but you don't know what others will do." And I feel like if I did, it would be like opening the door to Chris like I did last night. You were right, that was dangerous. But if you are looking to do something nice, I'd be absolutely overjoyed if you did one or both of 2 things. 1, love yourself and truly know you deserve love and nothing less. And 2, buy books from a locally owned bookstore / buy art from the artist and commission an art piece, etc. The art world is wonderful, but also struggle as many aren't as lucky as I am to have a strong support system. So support yourself and your local artist. Thank you all. And another edit. Sorry, there was a lot of the same questions in the comments. 1, yes, we are an interracial couple. I am Black, Indigenous, Middle Eastern, and he is Irish and French descent. 2, no, I do not want children. The moment I am eligible, I'll be getting that baby store shut down medically. I would adopt possibly someday, but I would not and should not be pregnant. 3, Chris and I were friends before we started dating, so I thought I knew him and his family well. 4, my mum has always been cordial with him, even if she didn't care for him. She did the whole mama thing of hugging him, feeding him, etc. 5, yes, mum will adopt you. She says she sends her heart to you and every hug you deserve and more. 6, dad didn't come over because, and I quote, "You wouldn't have wanted me in a space that boy would also be in, given what happened." So we stayed the course of his trip he was on. 7, I intend to be an author, whether it be full-time or part-time. Oddly enough, my book sales are skyrocketing a lot online. And then of course, we have some relevant comments to which OP was replying to. Amethyst Sapper says, "I love your mum." "Oh honey, your ex-boyfriend just called to tell us about the breakup. I'm so proud of you. Here, let's have another drink." OP says, "Lol, that was honestly kind of the vibe. I was so upset and called my parents because I tell them everything. My mum was just like, lock the doors and I'll be there in 20 minutes. And showed up with vodka and let me cry, and then I caught her smiling and was like, 'What the fuck, mum?' And she admitted she was proud of me for dumping him, and glad she didn't have to go to jail because if I stayed with him after all that, she would have to commit crimes." Colin says, Your mum is a badass. From now on, you know that if she doesn't like your partner, you really need to question that relationship. I'm happy you found your voice and used it. Dude was a total douchebag. OP says, you know that if she doesn't like your partner, you really need to question that relationship. She'd been so freaking smug after she reminded me that once she did speak up to me once I got mad at her. She's quoting the line, the animated Jackie Chan show, never question uncle at me. Lol. Bold in response to that and says the fact that she's teasing you and you're laughing means that everything is going to be alright. She has me smiling and chuckling a bit. Tell her she has an internet fan and I think she kicks ass. Dear Masterpiece says, so what I've gathered is he's a narcissist and can't fathom the thought of you having anything going on that's not focused on him. Literally me, and me. And what I want. Me again because you won't conform to a submissive wife focused on me. What a loser. Opie responded and said, it's weird because he never hinted that I can recall that he was ever like this. We've got years of history, and I remember him being interested in things I liked and wanted to get involved in. Then my mum reminded me of my painting. I'm not a painter, Mum is, and a charity-held gallery event, and the theme was something basic. I was visiting Mum that week, and when I'm at hers and she's painting, I sit with her and drink and we chat. But that day I was in the mood, so Mum struck up an easel next to hers and patted the seat, and we painted side by side. She loved my piece and had it submitted for the gallery event. It was a huge event and Mum had a separate exhibit space, but my little basic painting was up in the entryway with a handful of others, and Mum pointed it out to Chris. And he said it was good and we moved on, but at the end of the night Mum followed us out and suggested Chris and I might want to take a photo of us next to my painting. He said no. So Mum took a photo of me for me and shared it with herself. Chris asked me not to post the photo, saying it was a cry for attention and looked desperate, and I was taken away from Mum's shine. So when my mum posted it, he was mad at me. Why did I give my mum the photo? Why did she post it? But he suspiciously shared a photo Mum took of him at the same gallery, even shaking hands with a businessman we ran into, stating how proud she was of his work. The more I talk with my mum even now, the more she seemed to pick up on things. I feel bad, but when I asked why she never said anything before, she said she had, but I'd gotten angry at her. I had. I can't even remember why. And it sounded like Mum played this situation perfectly to me. That, she's tried warning in the past about this guy and had her concerns, and she's mentioned it a couple of times, but obviously OP being in the position that she was, she couldn't really see what was going on. She was getting angry at her parents for mentioning it. So Mum deciding to take a step back, but leaving that door wide open for her child was the right thing to do. We've seen parents where they push and it just pushes their child further away and into the other person's control. But when that time came, Mum was there to help her with that situation. And like the comment said, she just sounds like an absolute supportive badass. And a right cheeky so-and-so to go with it. Love her. Dude was just a walking red flag in that update where he says, I can go and find a woman who wants to support a man and wants his career and dreams to be successful. Yet, when you're following your dreams of writing books, etc., he doesn't like that at all. And when you called him out on going to find another woman, he's like, what? You can't break up with me? What the hell? But all I can say to you, OP, is I'm incredibly glad that you did get out of that relationship. Go chase those dreams of publishing those books, and I really do wish you and your family all the best. I hope you get no more drama from Chris anymore. And I know this is going to be a long shot, but I hope Chris learns a lesson from this in some way, shape or form. Like I said, I know this is an absolute long shot because dude's still out there. He's going to get himself into another relationship and this cycle could continue again, which, is good for no one. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.